guys, I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Tiffany.
and we are
Sisters
Sisters of
of
the
the
South.
South.
Hey, happy November. Yay!
Yay!
We are in the holiday season. I don't know about where you're at, but where we are here in Houston, Texas, it feels like
100 degrees.
summer.
My
Yeah.
car said 100 degrees yesterday.
Yeah. So we are so ready for some cool weather here.
If any of you guys have some, like ship it in a box.
Yeah, just push it south, north, east, west, whichever. Just push it our way because we are ready to
My
cool
air
down.
conditioner can't keep up.
Yeah, it's a little crazy here, but we are still going to act like it's fall here in Houston, Texas until it is. So,
Yeah.
probably what's going to happen to us is we're going to just skip the fall season and move right on into winter. So, we'll see.
That's kind of how it works usually anyway.
Yeah, under
Well,
these
I'm going to
circumstances.
tell you my secret. I blame our Houston Astros because when they go to postseason, it's cold here. And they didn't do that this year. So come on, guys.
They're kind of like groundhog here in Texas.
People laugh at me, but I truly say that every year.
Well, here we are. Thanks, Stros.
You made it hot.
It's so hot.
We
But
still love you, but you made it hot.
absolutely. Well, I mean, we're kind of conditioned to just withstand the heat anyway.
Sure.
So doesn't mean we like it. We just deal with it because we love Texas. So there you go. With that being said, we're going to start off today with a little shout out to SoFly.
SoFly.
Hey, they do our merchandise and we like to give them a shout out. And they're a small family owned business here in Houston who specialize in laser work and embroidery. And they can do that on keychains, hoodies, t-shirts, caps, aprons, any accessory that you would want to make special. So we're going to put their information in the description box down below. Reach out to them because we all know the holidays are coming and we like to have those special little gifts to give our loved ones and surprise them with them. And SoFly would be the perfect people to reach out to get that special gift for that occasion. But also they are getting very busy. So you need to get in touch with them as soon as possible so they can get it back to you in time for Christmas. So with that being said, we're going to show a little bit of a highlight of their work on a video, and here we go.
All right, guys. Hope you liked that video. Please go check them out. Tell them we sent you.
Yeah, tell them we sent you. They have the best customer service in Houston, and we won't lie about that. Also, before we get started, we're going to ask that you hit that subscribe button, share if you feel like sharing. Also, we are 20, give or take, subs from being at 500. And woo, that's our goal. So if at all possible, we'd love to share our stories with you. And so if you'll hit that subscribe button, we'll all celebrate once we hit that 500 mark and we will keep going. So we'd greatly appreciate that. But with that being said, we're going to move forward with this next story, which Tiffany's going to share with us. And we are going to start now.
And by the way, we just want to let you know we appreciate you guys for everything that y'all are doing.
Yes.
We love the comments. We love getting more subscribers so we can share stuff with you. So thank you so much, guys.
We nerd out.
We do.
Every time we get one, we celebrate. We like screenshot.
She sends me a text.
Send them. So we celebrate each and every one of you, and we greatly appreciate the acknowledgement and just sharing your time with us. We really do love that. So thank you very much.
Okay, now with that being said,
let's get started.
Okay, so hey, Steph, you got your time machine warmed up and ready to go?
Well, I have it out in the garage. You need the key?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, okay, I can dig that out of my purse. Where are we going?
So we're going to go back to New York, 1880 to begin with. We got to bring up some history.
Exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And let's not forget, I see that in black and white, so we got to do some coloring today.
Of course.
I love to color.
Well, see, I see it because it's in the fall. We're
Mhm.
talking about hunters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Lots of colors. Now, here in Houston, we have brown.
It's brown. It is brown.
But in New York, I just see colors,
Yes, that's true.
not brown.
Oranges, deep maroons, a little bit of brown.
I can't lie. I haven't been anywhere in the fall. I'm usually here
Yeah.
in the brown.
Well, I will say where our dad lives in East Texas, the colors change. Yeah, it's mainly yellows, maybe a little
Yellows,
bit of
maybe like
red.
one red tree.
Yeah,
One.
but that's the extent of our fall season here. So
No one travels to the south in the fall.
no, no, nobody, nobody wants that. Not here anyway. It's not pretty.
No.
It's not pretty.
Okay, so the oldest law enforcement organization in New York State began with a contingent of 8 men appointed as game and fish protectors, which we call wardens.
Mhm.
In 1880, their duty would be to enforce statutes established for the preservation of moose, wild deer, birds, and fish, and any other game laws, and to bring action to the name of the people of the state to recover penalties to punish any parties for violating these statutes. The protectors were to hold office for 3 years. They were given the power to arrest without warrant and to seize nets and pounds. The officers were given traveling expenses not to exceed $250 annually and were paid a yearly salary of $500.
Which sounds like that wasn't too bad for the day,
Yeah.
for the time. That sounds like big money for
Well, a
back then.
total budget of $6,000 was appropriated to implement the act.
Mhm.
The protectors were given specific instruction concerning their conduct. They were expected to devote their principal time to public service without allowing any other occupation to interfere with the performance of their duty.
Oh,
A commissioner was assigned to oversee and manage the activities of the protectors.
interesting.
Now, what do y'all think about that? I'm sure you don't know because I haven't told you the story.
Right?
Okay, so here we go with the actual story. At the age of 32, John H. Woodruff of Scotia, New York, was a rugged outdoorsman and a crack shot with a firearm. So it was no surprise to those who knew him when he left his job in real estate to join New York's Game Protector Force. The prospect of an exciting career as a game protector was something that appealed to many men who sought to make a living in the outdoors. Woodruff's goal was achieved when he was appointed by New York State Conservation Commissioner on November 1st, 1919, having finished first on the competitive civil service exam.
Wow. Smart guy.
Yeah. During his brief career, John Woodruff was very dedicated to his job as game protector, saying he was hated by hunters of game out of season and that he was zealous in his prosecutions of men caught violating state laws.
Now, there's a word you don't hear often, zealous.
I know, right?
Yeah. He was motivated
And
and
excited.
excited about his job.
He was going to
He
do it.
took that shit serious.
That's right. I mean, he was hated.
Yeah.
On Thanksgiving Day, November 27th, 1919, Woodruff bid goodbye to his wife and 2 children, Ferris and Ruth, and proceeded to patrol in and around Schenectady County outside Albany. Mrs. Woodruff was undoubtedly worried whenever her husband would go to work. She was aware that he had already received threats since his appointment as local game protector. Recently, she had watched with great concern as he read a letter wherein the writer wrote, "I'll get you, and I'm not afraid of you." She watched with great concern as her husband tore up the letter, stating, "Well, they're not going to get me." Mrs. Woodruff tried to brush her fears aside that Thanksgiving Day as she watched her husband leave their home, not knowing she would be the last person to see him alive. When Protector Woodruff did not return home, an intense search was organized to determine his whereabouts. The newly organized state police, founded only 2 years prior in 1917,
Oh, wow.
joined with the local game protectors, sheriff's deputies, and Scotia police, concentrating their search in what was the wilds of South Schenectady, Guilderland, and Carmen. Even the local Boy Scouts pitched in to help in the search, which I think was amazing.
That's cool. Yeah.
The search went on for weeks, but despite their efforts, game protector John Woodruff could not be found.
No, wait. So I guess they kind of knew what area he was going to be
Yes.
in. Okay.
So they kind of concentrated on that, which maybe they should have widened that search, but I'm sure it wasn't a big group of people looking.
Right. And they probably didn't have the plans that they do now on how they search.
Right.
You know, it's cool that they had the Boy Scouts out there looking, but if those little boys would have actually found him,
Yeah.
that would have scarred them for life.
I agree. I think it's really cool that they taught the Boy Scouts to do something like that.
Yes.
But at the same time, they're boys.
Yes.
But I don't know if it was all the Boy Scouts,
They
the
probably had
older Boy
adults.
Scouts.
They probably had adults with them, I'm sure.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Back in 1919,
They may not have.
they
then.
just threw you out there, and what happens. They took the chance, but
It'll make a man out of you.
I'd like to think that the adults assisted the boys. They didn't just throw them out there in the woods.
And
go,
maybe
"Go
it was
for
the
it."
older Boy Scouts,
Yes.
not the younger ones, hopefully.
Yeah.
So there were initially a few leads in the case. In 1920, 21-year-old Fred Ferradino of Rotterdam Junction provided a statement. He stated at approximately 11 a.m. on the day of Woodruff's disappearance, he was in the waiting room of the local railway near the 9 Mile Bridge in lock number 9, waiting for a trolley, when he observed 2 men near the tracks. He could overhear one of the men telling the other that he was under arrest, as well as a somewhat heated discussion about ferrets, the use of which had been outlawed for hunting.
Oh.
And yes, I said ferrets, guys.
So they weren't pets back then.
No, they were bred for hunting, which I looked it up because I was like, what?
Never heard that before.
You could train the ferrets to hunt.
Wow.
Which I think is so odd.
So what we use dogs for now, they were using ferrets?
Well, because they could get down and burrow into a hole and bring a rabbit out.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was pretty cool. The hunter was in possession of a shotgun. The men walked past the waiting room into the woods, but not before the hunter fired 2 shots into the air from a revolver, later assumed by investigators as an attempt to get his hunting dogs to come to him. The 2 men then disappeared into the woods. The description of the hunter was vague, only that he was a foreigner who spoke with an accent. However, this incident would later be discounted as there were conflicting reports of Woodruff being sighted later that evening. After Woodruff's disappearance in 1919, the local newspapers carried the story for several days, but then the trail and the media coverage went cold. On April 4th, 1921, nearly a year and a half after he disappeared, a man by the name of George Barrett was hiking through the woods near Amsterdam Road, near the 9 Mile Bridge, when something out of the ordinary caught his eye in the bed of Rotterdam Creek. Barrett became alarmed as he realized that he was looking at the skeletal remains of a man with 2 gold teeth. John Woodruff's remains had been found. His body lay doubled in a shallow hole in the creek bed, held down by heavy stones that had been placed on top of the body, forming a partial tomb. So they really tried to hide him.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask this, though, because the witness that had come forward was talking about seeing the, not game warden, but the protector in lot 9.
Yeah, he was waiting for a trolley, and that's where his trolley was.
At lot 9, and there was woods, I guess, behind it, the trolley station. And I wonder how far that was from the creek bed where he was found.
It didn't say that.
I would like to know that.
I know.
It's interesting because And let's be honest,
But it was near that bridge.
yeah, if they had shot him, they still more than likely are going to drag his body out to
Oh,
hide
yeah.
it anyway, regardless. But you think about a body
Well,
that's, heavyweight like that, it couldn't have been too far.
here's the thing. Woodruff's skull had been smashed open.
Oh, so blunt force trauma.
Yes.
Okay.
His hunting boots and other clothing, a gold watch, Conservation Commission identification, some Conservation Commission related papers, and a holster for a .38 caliber revolver were found with the remains.
Interesting.
The revolver and Woodruff's number 68 conservation badge both were still missing.
So they took that.
The badge and the gun.
But then you're going to leave his service arm on him? That's weird. I mean, if you're a hunter, most hunters are very respectful of a firearm. I guess if you're taking someone's life, what respect do you have anyway?
Well,
But
exactly.
you would think that they would go, okay, this is his service arm. We're going to take it. That way it's even harder to identify him. But this paperwork that they found,
They left the paperwork,
Did
but
that
they took
date
his
back?
badge.
and that dated back to Thanksgiving Day of the year he went
It
missing?
just said they had the papers. It had no
Okay.
information on it, but
Okay.
it was also there for a year and a half.
Yeah.
So,
And you got to think there was some decomp on it anyway, or
Oh,
it
yeah.
had, it had decomposed the paperwork anyway.
yeah,
so-
you may not be able to see writing
Yes.
or anything on it.
Mhm.
The coroner ruled that the entire top of the skull, which had been detached from the rest of the body, had been smashed in by a heavy weapon in the hands of a powerful man.
Hmm.
Given Woodruff's prowess with a revolver, which he had just recently won a shooting contest at a game protectors event,
Mhm.
as well as his physical abilities, it was assumed that the assailant had taken advantage when Woodruff turned his back on him.
Yeah.
Despite best efforts, the identity of the assailant remained a mystery. John Woodruff was buried at the Vale Cemetery in Schenectady. The loss to his family was devastating. The $50 per month that his wife received from the Conservation Commission was not enough to support the young family, and according to Woodruff's surviving great-granddaughter, they lost their home. The case lay quietly until February 1947, when the state police reopened the investigation based on a new lead that had been provided by the FBI's Buffalo office.
Interesting.
Yeah. 2 men had come to the Buffalo office on February 7th, 1947, to state that their stepfather claimed that he and an accomplice had murdered a man in the woods in Schenectady about 20 years before. Reportedly, the victim had attempted to arrest the stepfather for shooting a bird illegally. After identifying and interviewing the suspect, the story was discounted. However, 2 facts interested the investigators. According to the 2 informants, their stepfather claimed he had tied the victim to a tree, and following a severe thunderstorm, the victim died of exposure. The stepfather also claimed that he had killed his victim with a blast of a shotgun to the head. In fact, on Thanksgiving night, 1919, there was indeed a severe winter storm, which led investigators at the time to believe John Woodruff's remains were buried in a snowdrift. Also, when interviewed by investigators in 1947, observation of Woodruff's remains in 1921 noted that a portion of his skull had in fact been shot away by what appeared to be a shotgun. So they're saying that he was hit, but then they go back and now they're saying he was shot.
Yeah.
However, during a lie detector test, one of the stepsons claimed that he made up the story in an attempt to get their stepfather out of the way due to a family dispute. So he's going to frame him for murder?
Oh, wow. That's
I mean,
horrible. That's horrible.
What a family.
Yeah.
State and local police investigators would not make an arrest based upon their interviews of the persons involved. Investigators continued to work on the case, interviewing the witness, Mr. Ferradino, again, who stated a photo of the stepfather from Buffalo was not the man he had seen with Woodruff in 1919. Once again, the investigation went cold. In the early 2000s, a rumor emerged of a deceased Glenville man who told his wife that he had killed John Woodruff. However, this story remains unconfirmed.
Interesting.
Today, John Woodruff's murder remains a mystery, and his sacrifice has never been forgotten, and his name has been added to the police memorial in Albany. The Samuel Taylor Award for Bravery has been established by the division, and Canine Woody has been named after John Woodruff, who gave so much in his devotion to duty and the protection of New York's vital natural resources.
That's cool. I like that.
I do too. I thought that was very special.
Yeah, that is. That's super sweet. But man, so this guy was so hated that even if the townsmen knew who did it, they weren't saying a word.
No, there were so many stories that came out.
Yeah. Yeah. And the sad part is his wife and his children,
They suffered.
they suffered and probably had to live in that town because they couldn't afford to move anywhere else. And then to never know who did it. I'm sure she was looking over her shoulder at everybody, thinking, is it possible you did it? Did you do it? That's just so sad.
Well, I know you are a hunter.
Yes.
And I know that most hunters do not like game wardens. So I had to bring this one to you today. A little bit of Thanksgiving, a little bit of hunting season.
Yeah,
It's got all of it.
You know, actually, most of your game wardens, or even the ones that I've come across where we hunt, they're super nice.
They're nice, but they're very serious.
Well, they can be. They usually will come across very nice, but they are looking. They're looking. But they usually will remember your name, know where you're from, kind of know your style, and they're checking out, acting like they're interested in, oh, what'd you get? And checking it out. But they're also at the same time, they've got a job to do. They're looking to make sure you bagged and tagged correctly, use the correct firearm, you shot the correct type of game for that time of year, making sure that you didn't overshoot too many, this, that, and the other. For the most part, they do, at least nowadays, and the ones that I've been around, they like to build a personal relationship, but all it takes is one bad one, guys, and word gets around. So I think probably, and again, we're in Texas. That was so many years back, and it was just getting started. And again, we just had a story about the Texas Rangers, and back in those days, there wasn't a whole lot of regulations and rules on how to move forth in your job, and people just kind of was staunch and doing their job and whatever that meant. And I think
that's kind of how I felt like he was. Hey guys, I'm a newly badass and I'm going to do it right.
Well, he sounds like, I picture him to be like Barney Fife from Andy Griffith with one bullet in his gun. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, because I love Barney Fife's character, but that's how I picture him.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of do, because everybody hated him. They loved to hate him. And
well, he was easy to hate.
Well, right, because he was you had to go by the rule book, right? No matter what, you had to go by the rule book.
Okay, young version of Barney Fife.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I picture him to be in my mind.
That's funny.
And so, there can kind of be a camaraderie in town loving to hate this guy.
Well, you have to wonder, did they hate all of them or him specifically? Because, they killed him, but I think there was a lot of stuff going on because there was nothing like that before.
Yeah, but was he even loved or hated
without being a protector
in his job, within the protector job, like his comrades? Did they love him or hate him? Did they have anything good to say about the guy?
They had nothing to say. There wasn't even really a lot about his family, because you kind of have to wonder, was he even a beloved real estate agent?
Yeah. He sounds brutal.
Yeah.
He had a job to do, guys. He had a family to support. Okay. So, whatever that meant, he was serious.
Yeah.
He took it serious. So, wow, that's interesting. I don't know if they kept any DNA. At least his name is out there, and he's
I don't think they even knew how to do any of that in 1919, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll probably
Plus, he had been out in a winter storm, and
Well, the likelihood of
for a
ever
year and
knowing
a
who
half.
did it, I mean, everybody's going to be dead now.
Oh,
But
yeah.
these people who come forward 50 years later and admit, or 30 years later and admit, hey, I killed this guy out in the wood. Why?
Well, that might
If
have
you
been that man's like deathbed
confession.
confession. Like, oh my God, I killed this man. I need to get it off my
Okay.
chest to my wife.
If
Thanks a
I'm
lot.
on my deathbed and Bruce is there and I've done something horrendous and I wouldn't even want him to know I had done that. And especially after my death, having to grapple with it, I I would just ask God for forgiveness, which I wouldn't do that anyway. I would never harm someone like that, but I would just ask God for forgiveness and kind of keep that to myself because I wouldn't want my loved ones to know
And live with that.
and live with that after your death. That's harder than
Well, yeah.
dealing
What
with
do
it
you
when you're
think about
alive.
them? Like, did I even know this person?
Exactly. And then you can't even confront them with the situation about you're horrible. You can't do anything but just sit on it and think about it. And how do you direct that emotion after they're gone? Yeah. Then you question your whole life with them. Did I
Yeah.
even know them? Did they even love me? They could have killed me in my sleep. I mean, then you start questioning everything. So if my husband had ever done anything like that, I just don't want to know. That's horrible.
Well, I'll let him know.
Yeah, can you let him know that?
If you have any dirty secrets,
Just keep them to yourself. I don't want to
don't
know about
be
it.
confessing on your deathbed.
I
Keep
don't want to
that
know.
shit to yourself.
Confess to God. Leave me out of it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, don't bring me into it either.
Well, if he tells me something like that, you know I'm going to come tell you. Okay, so you don't see. You need to tell Bruce for your safety.
Yes. So I don't have to live with it.
For
You're like, he
sure.
fed me for years. He could have
Right?
just taken me out.
Oh,
Because her husband feeds us and gives us drinks.
oh my gosh. My husband's fabulous when it comes to that.
All right, guys. So that's the story. Can you let us know what you think?
Yeah.
Who do you think did it? Some wild hunter out there?
Or do you think it was another protector that didn't like him?
That could be
Yeah, it could
because they
be.
took his badge and his revolver. You have
Hmm.
to wonder why
Yeah.
those two items.
Yeah. You have to wonder. It's kind of strange. I mean, it could be anybody, but I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I almost want to lean towards it was one of the other protectors or game wardens, which they're game wardens now, but
They protect the game.
and this is the thing. They are very privy to how water rises and falls, the times of seasons and things like that. So when they bury
Sure.
him, they would know the area, the woods, and they would know how to hide him and bury him so he wouldn't be found
A year and a half.
for a while. So and hunters can be wise to that as well, but when you're a game warden or a protector, whatever they called them back then, they had to be very privy and smart to that information. And so I'm kind of leaning towards, I think it was a fellow game
Okay.
warden.
Plus, they kind of had to put some thought into it. It
Yeah.
couldn't have been like a last minute, I'm pissed off because you're
Mhm.
arresting me.
Mhm.
Because they took them to an area that no one else could find
Right.
under heavy rocks.
Yes.
You have to put some thought into that. I
You
mean, if
do.
I'm just going to randomly kill someone, which I'm not, guys, I don't think I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to take them to this one area and I know there's a lot of heavy rocks.
Mhm.
I'm just going to bury this.
I'm going to
guy.
overthink it. If, I'm not going to do that either, but I would overthink it to death.
I think I'd throw up first.
It
so
would
that
never
would be...
happen because I'd be overthinking it. What if, what if, what if, what if? But
I
so
don't overthink things at all.
you're a liar. She's lying, guys.
But
She's
not a
lying.
murderer.
But I think it's a fellow comrade. I think it's a fellow game warden.
That's possible.
He probably pissed somebody off.
It sounds like he pissed a lot of people
And
off.
again, Barney Fife with one bullet in his gun. He's out there. He's got a job to do. He doesn't care who he runs over, steps on. He doesn't care if you're a civilian. He doesn't care if you're his coworker. He doesn't care. He's going to do what he's got to do. And I just think it was one of his
Well,
fellow
you know what
workmates.
amazes me is the fact that he was in this job position for a little less than 2 months and he made that many enemies.
Yeah. Yeah. Barney Fife.
That's very quick.
Yeah. Well, they
Do you
probably might have already known of him
Well,
anyway
it's
in
the
that town.
area, so yeah.
Yeah, being a real estate
And
agent or
then
whatever you
somebody
call
gave
it.
him some power.
Yes. Oh, with a gun.
Yeah.
Here
And
we
a
go, guys.
badge.
With a gun and a badge. He's feeling powerful and he's going to show it. And
Mm,
that's not an excuse for killing the guy. I mean,
no.
that's so sad because it affected generations.
Yeah.
But some people, especially back in those days, they're like, "I'll fix him. We ain't got room for you." And they just did away with him. But that's my opinion. That's what I think. I
It
think
is
it
a good
was,
opinion. I like it.
yeah, I think it was one of the other protectors that said,
Mm,
"Yeah, this guy's a little much. We need to
kind of
get
have
rid
to
of him."
wonder now who was on that
He was on that force.
roster.
Absolutely. And it might have been someone, it could have been someone that was working that day because they would need an alibi. But it could have been someone who wasn't working that day.
Well, it
It,
was Thanksgiving.
yeah. Yeah. So
How deep into celebration did they go back then?
they were probably working a skeleton crew. And he was probably
Well,
one
it
of
was
those
only 8
guys.
men to begin with.
Yeah. He was going to be one of those guys to kind of, he was probably an ass kisser. And he was going to get out there and work them
Oh,
holidays, right? Because he's got something to prove.
there's always an ass kisser.
Yeah. And so, maybe his fellow mates said this is the perfect time to do something with this guy.
It's just sad. It's always
Yeah.
it's sad anyway, but especially when they have a family and their
Yes.
family couldn't afford to do anything after that for them to lose their home. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, because it wasn't their fault.
No,
I
that he
mean,
was
it's sad.
Barney Fife.
It's sad. The guy didn't deserve that,
No.
but somebody just thought he did.
I mean,
So,
guys, not that I'm condoning it, but beat him up in the woods. Don't kill him.
right. What in the
There are other
military,
ways.
they'll put shoes in pillowcases and or soap in pillowcases and beat the crap out of somebody who kind of got them in trouble. Do something like that
Yeah,
before
don't
you
kill the guy.
kill the
I mean,
guy.
teach him a
I
lesson.
mean, I'm not even condoning that. I'm just saying.
I mean, there are times that I felt like doing that,
Yeah,
but I've never done it.
but to go to the extreme of killing someone and ruining their family forever, that's just it's
I
sad.
wish
It's
I could
horrible.
say it was different times, but
Not really. Well, it's probably worse now.
we have this channel for a reason.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so guys, let us know what you think. Have you heard of the story? I had never heard of the story until today, actually. So let us know what you think. Leave some comments down in the comments section below. Let us know. Do you think it was a fellow protector or do you think it was a townsman that did this to him? So we'd like to know what you think.
Yes, please comment. We love the comments.
We do. We watch for them all the time. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're going to call it a day and we will see you next time. But until then, see the good and stay imperfectly perfect.
Bye,
Bye, guys. Thank you.